INTERCONTINENTAL SPORTS TV. Istv. Talk to me. Yes, the dawn in the building. You know what I'm talking about, people. You're welcome Monday. It's a great show. We call it Istv podcast. I tell you, it is what it is right here. Alright, people. You're welcome to the show. This is the dawn. The dawn in the building. Talking about sports. We call it Modern Sports Chats. Let's chat. Let's talk about this game. Talking about sports. The dawn in the building. Welcoming everybody. Who do I have in the studio with me? It's ready for me. You know what I'm talking about, people. You know, sir, this is how we do it. This is how we roll. smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. If you are watching us for the first time, call me the Don. The Don on Sport Entertainment. I'm in the building. Let's get into this. Kunle is also joining me. It's gonna be loud this morning. Things are happening. I tell you that, man. All right. Yes. Come on, people. Easy music. Pull it off. Right here from our studio, Maryland. We preside from United States. Pulling. I tell you, it's summertime right here, people. All right, welcoming this great man. I'm not sure whether he's ready for me. Shaya, I think Shaya should be ready for me. Shaya, talk to me. How's it going? You're welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening, Don. It's great to be back. A pretty busy weekend of football. It was okay seeing Nigeria play again yesterday. Even though we missed it, but I think the first 10-15 minutes was a bit lost to us, but we were able to catch the rest of the game. So Nigeria will play at AFCON next year, even though I feel we can improve on so many parts of our play. But I can't wait to get into the thick of the action on the show.
All right, welcome me. I'll show you a video right in the building. It's ready. All right, let me welcome this great man all the way from that place, that city I love most. I love that city. Are you ready for me? Talk to me. You're welcome to the show.
Yes. Good evening, the Dawn. Yes. Yeah. And good evening, Share. Good evening to everyone around the world. It's like Share said, a very good weekend of international football, AFCON, Euros, Nations League. Yeah. And a good one, yes, as Nigeria qualified for the Africa Cup of Nations, even though it wasn't the best of performances, but it's good to know that, Victor Osimhen scored 2 goals and, he's gradually
mixing up Rashidi
sorry?
Yekini.
Yes, he's 20 goals behind Rashidi Yekini, and the rate at which he's scoring, he's going to catch up if he stays consistent. He is, yes, he is going to catch up with Rashidi Yekini. So a very, very good one from Osimhen yesterday in Monrovia, and we can't wait for next year's AFCON. We hope he shines, and we hope he can bring the trophy for us full.
All right. Please welcome everybody onto this channel. I have Sheye Bidiora, who is a Chelsea fan to the core, to the bone, to the flesh. Kunle is a Manchester United fan. For today, it's all about sport. We are going to talk everything about sport today. But let me quickly check. What do I have here? Please smash a like on the video. Like the video. Share this video. Join our community. It's all about sport. This is how we roll. This is how we do it. Let's look at the sport talk. Today's sport talk. Paper talk to me. Come to me. What do we have here? Kunle, quickly, look at this. This is just coming in. This guy's been sacked. I don't know why. I don't know the reason why. I thought this guy really performed very well last season. Kunle, I'm going to start off with you. What is going on? This guy is sacked. That's Gary O'Neill. It's a shock to me. I don't know. And the Irora from Rayo Vallecano is been signed 2 years to be a manager of Bournemouth. I can't believe this. Kunle, talk to me. What's your view on this?
Well, my thought about it is that while Gary O'Neill might have, saved Bournemouth from relegation,
yes,
I feel my thinking is maybe the club are looking in a direction of maybe they want a manager that can maybe bring a bit of stability, maybe improve the way Bournemouth play, something maybe close to what Eddie Howe, because if you remember when Eddie Howe was Bournemouth manager, they were a very interesting side to watch. They knew how to pass the ball, they knew how to progress the ball, they were very good in attack, So maybe bringing a manager from Spain, this is just my theory. I don't know the reason why they sacked O'Neill. Maybe there was an issue behind the scenes, but my own looking at it is that maybe they are looking for someone maybe more progressive. You understand? Someone like, maybe they've looked at how Brighton are, that, Brighton, look at the way they are playing. They play very good football and it's bringing results for them. it's not maybe smash and grab results. So maybe that's the direction Bournemouth are looking at. That maybe O'Neill might not be the person who can do that. We need somebody who can train these players, who can, and I think Rayo Vallecano. I might be wrong. I don't know where they finished in La Liga, but I think they did have a very decent. I know they didn't relegate, so they must have had a decent performance in La Liga. So maybe that is why they have taken. Sorry, what's his name again? Iraola. Maybe that's why they. Yeah, but I can't say. But that's just my own guess. That's just my own assumption. I don't really know what has gone down, but that's my assumption.
All right, let me welcome the Iron Lady of Istv, Margaret. I don't think do I have Margaret here with me? Margaret, talk to me. You're welcome to the show. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, the Dawn, I can hear you. Good evening from here. Good evening, guys, in the studio.
All right, you're welcome to the show, loud and clear. Prof is also joining us all the way from Lagos State, Lekki to be precise. Talk to me, Prof. You're welcome on the show. I don't think I have him. I lost him there. I don't know. Maybe he can jump in. Yeah, you're welcome. Yes, Prof, I can hear you right now. What's going on, bro? Can anybody hear me? Prof,
of course, I can hear you. I think it should be from his side.
Yeah, Prof, I can hear you. All right, Margaret, you're welcome to the show. This is what is going on. Sacking, everybody's sacking. Is it? All right. Yes. Back and forth with your voice. You're jumping out, jumping in. But moreover, let me welcome Margaret. I don't know whether it's going to be Ten Hag going to be sacked. I don't know what's going on. People are sacking anything. Margaret, what's your view about this sacking of Bournemouth's former manager, Gary O'Neill, now inviting Andoni Iraola from Rayo Vallecano? What's your view? What's your thought? Talk to me, Margaret.
Well, we know that football these days is about business. So no club owners will want to sit down and watch their team not doing pretty well. So whatever that is not actually working for them, they tend to take it off, then bring in something that they feel will be better for the club. Well, though the sacking of O'Neill actually came as a surprise to me, I was shocked when I read it. I was like, what's going on? At least Bournemouth, they survived last season. It means that I actually do not know. I don't know the reason why he was sacked at this point. At this point, not like at the beginning of the season, maybe when 2 to 3 matches to the beginning of the season, but before the preseason, you sacked a manager who actually helped the club to retain their Premiership status for next season, to bring in someone else. Well, it's actually no surprise for me, though, in whatever that is in the Premier League, but this particular one is a surprise for me. Well, as for the former manager of Rayo Vallecano, so I don't know. I don't really know much about him. So let's just hope that he's going to do something that maybe he's going to take Bournemouth to at least middle of the table for next season.
All right. So yeah, I'm sure you're going to have a different opinion about the sacking of this manager of Bournemouth, welcoming this man, Andoni Iraola, to Premier League. I know you're going to have a different opinion. Shaya, talk to me. How do you feel? Because I feel this guy, is it because they want him to play kind of style of play, as Kunle said, or what's your opinion about this?
Well, just to echo what Kunle and Maris have actually said. I think Kunle actually brought up a pretty interesting point, bringing up Brighton, because I remember a few years back when Brighton sacked Chris Hilton. At the time on social media, there was a lot of criticism at the club because they felt it was surprising that they sacked Chris Hilton, who more or less saved them from relegation that season. But at the time, they were trying to evolve their style of play. They were trying to play more on the front foot. They were trying to play, like when they said, a progressive style. So maybe that's what the Cherries are trying to do as well. Because regarding Andoni Iraola, actually it was linked with the Leeds job a few months back when they sacked Jesse Marsh. And then I sort of researched him a bit, and they were actually pushing for a European spot at the time. although they just fell about 4 or 5 points short of this 7th or 8th spot. So I think they've seen the job he has done at Rayo Vallecano. So let's see if he'll be able to translate that in the Premier League. I wish him the best because, of course, he's going to face a tough test, adapting to the club, more or less trying to implement his style at a new club. So let's see if he's able to succeed. But I wish him the best, really.
All right, Prof. I'm sure you're going to have another opinion on this. Prof, talk to me. These people are sacking anybody. Premiership is, I don't know what to say about it. It's just, how do you feel? How do you feel about the sacking of Gary O'Neill? Prof, can you hear me? I lost him there. I can't get onto him. But let's move on to the next one. Let's look at some of the paper talk I really compiled for today that we want to talk about. First is this man Rogers agreed long-term deal to return to Celtic. Sheye, I'm going to start up with you on this. What do you feel about this man? I thought another Premiership is going to sign him, but it's going back to Scotland. Celtic is going to sign him. What do you think? That's the paper talk for today.
Well, this is a weird one because, of course, you know that he was successful at Celtic a few years back before was replaced by Postecoglou. But it just feels like you always say never go back to your ex or never go back to your former club because it's mostly never goes.
You mean ex-girlfriend? All right.
Because it never really goes according to plan. So this seems like a strange because we know he had a good start at Leicester, where more or less he nearly took them to the Champions League. They ended 5th in successive seasons, and they won the FA Cup, beating Chelsea in 2011. So you would assume that he would have maybe been patient for a Premier League job. So this seems a bit surprising, but I just feel like he has outgrown Celtic. He has outgrown the Scottish League. So it's a bit surprising, but I understand why he might want to go back there because, of course, he needs to eat, he needs to feed, he needs a job. Yeah. But personally, I just feel it seems like a backward step because he has shown that he's bigger than that league. He won several trophies. I think he won the treble, the treble in Scotland at the time too. So going back there seems a bit surprising because I personally feel he has outgrown Scottish football.
All right, Kunle. Let me quickly let me show my screen once again. I lost my screen there. Prof, can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm in.
All right, you're welcome to the show, Prof. Let's dig this. Yeah. Rogers, I think I want you to talk about this this man, Rogers, going to Celtic. What's your opinion on this? For the paper talk for today, that is all over the place.
It's a place that is a territory that is familiar with. You know, he was successful there, so yeah. I wasn't surprised to find out that he's returned there. I think he had a very good spell at Leicester until the the end, until last season where it was really bad. Came out bad for him.
Absolutely.
But he's a top manager regardless. I thought he would have been in conversation for the Tottenham job, Tottenham Hotspur's job, but obviously he didn't get that job. And yeah, for me, it's not an upward movement. It's more like a sideways movement for him, going back to Celtic. But like I said, it's good for him. He's obviously going to be the favorite to win the league there. So yeah, he can just go there and sort of he doesn't need to just reestablish his form back as a top manager that he is, and maybe hopefully can get another more attractive job after his spell at Scotland, maybe in England again in the future. But good luck to him over there. Yeah, himself.
All right, I think we're going to miss Rogers in EPL for so many years to come, and let's move on to the next one. Kunle, Spain beats Croatia on penalties to win the National League. For me, what do you feel about this National League? I was thinking all the players should be resting by now, but the Europe body in football, they said National League. What's your opinion about this game, National League, after the season, and also Spain winning on penalties on that final?
Okay, well, firstly, it is this is the finals of the Nations League. It was just the semi-finals, and it's not like it was a whole tournament that maybe started from the group stage, so it was just the semi-finals and the final. Okay, and about players going on rest. Look, players, let me tell you something. Players don't want rest, to be frank.
Yeah.
They want to play. They will, any opportunity to play, players would want to play. So I know fans are always wanting to talk about, because I said something, if players wanted rest, see, they would speak. They would speak out and say, we are being drained. Why should we have this? But you don't see players complain. So for me, I don't believe they are being gagged. I believe they have a voice. Yes, they can say maybe they are contractually bound by all these things, but you have a voice, you can speak. But if you don't speak, it means you are cool with it.
You want with it.
Yeah, you want to do it. So yeah, that's what I'll say about that. About Spain winning, I would say I kind of found it surprising in that when the game got into extra time, I felt it was going to go Croatia's way, because if we know Croatia very well, and if we look at how they had that history from the last World Cup in Qatar and even in 2018 World Cup in Russia, when Croatia takes a team into extra time, if it gets into penalty shootout, it usually goes Croatia's way, because they have very good penalty takers, because they have players who are technically good, from Marcelo Brozovic, Luka Modric, Mateo Kovacic. They have technically gifted players all over the pitch. So these are people who will convert penalties, and they also have a goalkeeper that knows how to make good saves. So I felt Croatia's goalkeeper was going to make one or two saves and all, but I found out that it was, Spain were actually playing good penalties. So maybe Spain prepared for the prospect of penalties and they practiced, because Spain really took good penalties, I must say. Even their goalkeeper Livakovic, he couldn't catch anything. Like those were very good penalties that Spain played. So I actually thought, okay, now it's in the shootout. This is going Croatia's way. Spain should have beaten them in 90 minutes and all of that. But at the end of the day, Spain won, and I think it's well deserved, because you look at where Spain were, they didn't really do well at the last World Cup. I've forgotten who their former manager. Okay, was it not Luis Enrique? He left.
Yeah, Luis Enrique.
Yeah, and this I've forgotten. Please, I can't remember the name of their current manager. But what I know is that he has managed their under 17 and under 21s. So he has managed players like Unai Simon. Many of the players who are in this current Spanish team, he managed them, at youth. So I guess the reason why they went for him was because he understood these players, so he can get the best out of them. And getting your first trophy in how many months of getting the job is a very, very good way, for them to to kickstart his national team career, when you've largely managed national teams, so youth teams. So the next step now is for them to qualify for the Euros, and we'll see if they can, if Spain can do it again. So it's well deserved for Spain, no doubt. But a shame for Croatia though, because they are waiting for a trophy continue.
Yeah. Yes, let's move on straight to this great man of Manchester United. Coach is fuming. He's not happy right now. I'm talking about Erik ten Hag. He's angry about Manchester United takeover. It's hurting Rice pursuit and every other target at the moment. I won't call Kunle right now. Let me call the Iron Lady Margaret herself. She's a Manchester United fan to the core, to the bone, to the flesh. Margaret, what is going on? Erik ten Hag is fuming. How do you feel? What's your take on this?
I don't think any manager at this point will be so happy with what is going on at Manchester United, because by now Man U should be talking about getting a players, or at least to sign one player down. It's not all the rumors and everything. Up until now, nothing concrete has been said about the takeover. It seems as if the Glazers are playing with the minds of the fans. So Eric Ten Hag has the right to be hungry. He is a manager. He needs to set up his team. He needs to know. He needs to make sure that he has players that he wants in every position. But up until now, over how many months ago, they're still talking about taking over, and the Glazers are not saying, I don't know what kind of money do they want, or are they actually willing to sell Man United? Which is something, because when you look at how they came up with this selling of Man United, it was actually as a surprise. It started when the whole Ronaldo thing. There was never a rumor about Man United being sold. Nothing at all until when Ronaldo came out and made that interview with Piers Morgan. Then all of a sudden, the Glazers now said we're selling Man United. Probably as at that moment to just calm the fans down. But I actually don't know what is going on. So every Tenga has the right to be hungry. Very soon, the preseason will start. Man United don't have a team yet. We can't start with the same squad of last season. It was more like Eric Tenga actually managed those teams. They managed those squad. Okay, let's push until this season, and then up until now, they're still on talking. You're still on negotiating a deal. I don't know. So it's annoying. Even me, I'm angry.
Well, Kunle, what do you feel about this situation of Manchester United? That's Eric Ten Hag fuming. Is not happy. What's your take on this, Kunle? As a Manchester United fan, or saying?
No, me. I would even first ask you a question. Why should Eric Ten Hag be fuming? Didn't he know these kind of things before he took the job? He can't fume. He should have known that it's the truth, and I'm being blunt here. He should have known that he was coming to a club where there is a lot of instability, where things are not stable, where things just happen anyhow. You understand? So, although yes, it's painful for from a fan perspective, because you would think, you will need to improve and all, but with the way the Glazers seem, for me, I think ever since the Glazers announced they were intending to sell the club, I think the Glazers have not really cared about anything that is happening on the pitch, right? Because if they did now, for instance, they would have been able to provide funds to get players in January rather than go for stopgap options. We would have gotten some permanent players, like a permanent striker. We can. It might be difficult, but we can if you are determined to do that. But we couldn't do that. We now went for stopgap options, and now the transfer window is open, and there is no indication that any player is coming. There's no even indication of who is going out.
Yeah,
you understand. So I feel Ten Hag will just work with whatever he has. He already has a way he has been training, or he has been working with the club. I think he will probably just continue that way until whenever the ownership happens, and he can now start probably getting players that are of the kind of quality that he wants and demands. But until that happens, I think fans should not have high expectations. Just hope for the best.
All right, I'm coming. Please. I
want to quickly. I think I want to quickly disagree. I want to quickly. Let me just say something about Kunle saying that Eric Ten Hag he should have known. No, we're talking about the takeover here. The takeover started January. That was before. Okay, it started before Ronaldo left, and that was after Eric Ten Hag came to Man United. Not like the old takeover thing was there when there wasn't any takeover discussion before Eric Ten Hag came. It was after when he came. So I don't see how he shouldn't be furious. He should, because by now everything should have been settled, and then the fund, whatever, should have been provided for him to go about with his job.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, the question I wanted to ask you is there any players you think should be should be getting ready to go out of Manchester United, with the likes of Kunle will disagree with me. The club captain, Maguire, De Gea, and so on and so forth. What do you think? Because I always have an argument with De Gea leaving Manchester United. If this guy goes, or if he, because there's speculation that he's going to Saudi Arabia, are you saying we should now be looking at Henderson? There's no Onana. I mean, where do we get this money from? Because Chelsea seems to be looking at Onana's angle as well. So I'm going to ask you, Margaret, which players do you think at least can bring money for Manchester United to buy? Because you do karakata, you do buying, you go to market, you can, All right, talk to me.
First, number one, Maguire has never been in a Tenga's plan. So there is no need saying he needs to stay. He has never been in his plan. So that one is actually number one on my list to leave the club. Wow. And then secondly, if right now I think it's actually high time Man United cash out on Anthony Martial.
Yes, I understand.
One, he is there. For De Gea, no, I feel he needs to stay one more season. United need to bring in another goalkeeper, and it should be an understudy to David De Gea. Not just if De Gea can just leave and United bring in a new goalkeeper. It's not going to work that way. Yeah, it's not going to work that way. So someone needs to give De Gea that competition. Then probably by next after the coming season, he can leave. Yeah. Then there are so many players on the list that needs to leave the club, because
what about Sancho?
Leave. No way United will have enough funds to buy more players. Players have to go to make way. Look at Chelsea now. Almost 4 players as of now. They're almost gone, or some have gone already.
And they're bringing. I'm coming to ask Prof about it.
Yeah, they are bringing in money is coming in as it is right now. They have enough money to buy whatever players they want to buy. But right now, if with the whole takeover thing going on right now, United needs to sell. Okay, why pending when the new owner comes in, that when he will provide fund. For now, let's take some players off and then get him money to bring in at least 1 or 2 more players. But as it is right now, who wants to go? Maguire doesn't want to go. Everybody just want to stay at United. Doing what? Collecting money and playing rubbish.
All right. I'm going to ask Prof. Things are happening in Saudi Arabia right now. I'm just going to ask you. Players are moving. And I want to even ask you specifically because Chelsea are doing business in Saudi Arabia. Look at the questions, fate and fortune. Why are footballers now going to Saudi Arabia? In your own opinion, Prof, talk to me, bro.
Well, as we've seen it, there are a host of reasons. First off, we have to look at the fact that the Saudi Arabian league now is very, very there's a lot of money involved, very lucrative for these players, and most of them are thinking about their futures vis-a-vis their age and football longevity at the moment. We've always seen players go to these places when they are, towards the end of their careers. We can understand the likes of Karim Benzema, who's won everything, and N'Golo Kante, who's won everything in the game, and they're sort of getting towards the end of their careers. But now we've started seeing that it's trickling down to even players that are at their prime in terms of Neves, who I thought would metamorphose into a quality player, somebody capable of playing for Liverpool or something. I saw him in a Liverpool shirt or something like that, But now, he's been started to go to the Saudi Arabian League, and you can't look past the money effects of it, because they're not globally accepted yet. They're not globally watched yet. They don't have the clout. They don't have the audience. They don't have the quality. It's just the money at this moment in time. And look, we're starting to see it. A lot of Chelsea players, a lot of Chelsea.
How not they do Because I was hearing
I like
Todd
what
Bowl
I
is
read.
having, he's having a business with
Yeah,
them.
I
I mean,
also read it that yeah, I think they said the Clear League, I don't know. I think Open knows. I said Open Share would know about them. I think one of some of the partners, those who partnered with Todd Bowley to buy Chelsea, I think they have huge stakes as well in Saudi Arabia. I think they have huge connections there. So it's very easy for Chelsea, and it's now being seen as a masterclass from Chelsea. And a lot of people are saying, so Todd Bowley knew that he will be able to do this, and that's why they went and splurged the cash, in January, because he knows that he can get away, he can get players shipped away. Now we're having 4 or 5 players being looked to go to Saudi Arabia, so
wow.
it's a good thing from the Chelsea aspect. They get get back some good money for the likes of ZH, Mendy, Koulibaly. They will get back some good cash that they can spend on other
Wow.
areas of the
Todd Boyle
pitch.
is
So
actually a good businessman.
I think so. I think so too.
exactly.
I'm
So
telling
at
you,
the end of
it's
the
really
day,
surprising.
Chelsea would not face any problem with the financial fair play, which a lot of people felt like it was going to affect them. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if I should say it's a good or bad thing for football. The fact that Saudi Arabia can come and clubs from Saudi Arabia can come anytime and attempt your players with huge fees. I don't know I can't say for now what the implications would be and the consequences would be on English Premier League. But I Kunle said it feels like the English Premier League is too far gone for anybody to catch up with them. The huge qualities, the huge young players coming up the ranks, they all want to play for the Premier League. You want to be known globally first before you go into such a league. So I don't think it's going to have any problems on the Premier League.
In fact, that's the question I want to ask Sheye. Is there any impact? I want to ask Sheye, is there any impact Saudi Arabia could pull or they could do to make their league relevant? Because the way this thing is, if they could get Neves, they could be targeting other young players too. Sheye, what do you think?
Yeah, I actually had this talk with a friend. I think late last week, and previously they seem to be targeting players who were either on the last year of their contract or players who had their contracts at their previous club expired. But now it seems they are starting to go for players who are in their 20s, and I think that poses a potential problem. But speaking for myself, honestly, I will not watch the Saudi league. If they get all the players in the world, there's really no appeal. And of course, maybe once in a while, we might just see a few games on Twitter or on social media. But generally, I don't even think Cristiano fans watch his club, because look, there's so much
And
going
what's
on in
on
the top
Twitter?
Yeah, they post things on Twitter, but I just feel nobody actually wakes up to watch the Saudi league. Or maybe I am projecting my own reality on others. Maybe that I might be wrong in that sense. Well, even if they get all the maybe the aging players in their 30s, and they get other maybe players in their 20s, I wouldn't watch the Saudi league, because look, there's so much happening in the Premier League, in La Liga, in Serie A, and in the Champions League, in European competition. So I won't watch it. And I think there was a report that surfaced last week that Mourinho actually rejected an offer. I don't know if that's verified, but I read the report. So I think it just shows that not everybody can be wooed by the money. And really, the big leagues are still the Europe's top 5 leagues. So, and I think it will remain so for a long time. So of course, it's nice for the fans in Saudi to see these big stars surface in their nation. But I feel generally the average football fan will not be swayed by all that.
All right, let me quickly ask Prof.
Didon, please, can I quickly chip in something about Saudi Arabia? I think these guys actually meant business. There is a report somewhere that they are aiming to host 25 World Championship across a number of sports by 2030.
Really? Wow.
That's to tell you that these guys actually want to take Saudi Arabia to the top. I mean, to the top when it comes to sport. They don't want to stay back. It's as if they have been backward when it comes to sport. But right now, they're actually ready. And the Saudi Arabia's crown prince, and that is Mohammed bin Salman. I think he is on a one-man's mission to make sure that Saudi Arabia is on the map when it comes to sport.
Yes, Kunle, do you think so that Saudi Arabia can, do better than China in this relation? Do you think Saudi Arabia could get this thing done better? And all of us will start looking at, watching the league of. I can't just imagine it's gonna work. I don't know. Kunle, what do you think?
Sorry, come again, the Don.
Yeah, I'm just saying about Saudi Arabia, taking over, getting all these players. Do you think it's, China couldn't do it at some point? China couldn't do it. But the way Saudi Arabia are taking it, they're taking it in a different way, splashing money, getting young players. Do you think they can strive in this?
Well, yeah, it's good for them, right?
Yeah.
From a global perspective, I would say no, it doesn't do anything because, like, for China, yes, many players were going to China. I still think some do, but there's not so much buzz around it now. I know, yes, the Saudis have more money than China, so they will spend bigger, better, and maybe they might even have more sustainable plans in place compared to the Chinese league. But in trying to say that the Chinese league wants to compete or wants to be at a level where maybe I'm not even going to bring up the Premier League. Let me just even say a regular European league. I don't think so. That is why I felt it will only build the profile of the league, maybe in the region, in the Arab world, which is good. Because if you are having Cristiano Ronaldo in the Arab world, it is going to draw attention from even neighboring countries. You understand? I'm sure people from other countries, neighboring countries like the UAE, Qatar, will want to come and watch Ronaldo. And what it will even do is that it will also enable maybe clubs in those other countries like Qatar, UAE that I mentioned, to probably try to go that route in trying to bring in some players. Because if you look at in a place like Qatar, they had they brought in players like Xavi, Casola, and UAE. We've had a good number of some African players like Asamoah Gyan was there, and also maybe it can improve their, maybe it can improve. It can bring more competition into the Arab world. But in terms of saying with Europe, nah, no way.
All right, Kunle. I'm going to start talk to Prof right now in relation to this guy playing in the midfield. I'm talking about Trent. Can we start looking at Trent as a midfielder, or what do you think, Prof? This position is now making him to strive very well. And do you think should club move him into the midfield going to the next season? I'm talking about Trent. Talk to me, Prof, on this one.
Yeah, well, so far so good. What we've seen him play in Liverpool towards the end of last season when the club, yielded to the call of a lot of people who said he should try Trent Alexander-Arnold in the middle of the park to solve his midfield problems. Because let's not forget, he has not been great defensively. He's always had that eye for a pass, especially a long pass, but he's been suspect defensively, and it's been a liability to the team in that regard. So they had to look for a way out, and Klopp tried him in the middle, and he's been doing well. And he also played in the last England game, and he performed. He's also in the starting lineup in tonight's game to start in the middle of the park, and so I would watch him closely. But look, for me, I think it's good for Liverpool, but I have just a little bit of reservations because there are a lot of technicalities involved in playing in midfield. It's all well and good when he has the ball and has a lot of space to look up and pick long passes, but does he know how to show for the ball? Does he know how to play in tight spaces? Can he receive the ball back to goal? Is it that technical in very short spaces? Is it the way the Godans of this world, Brennans of this world, the way they maneuver themselves? Can he do that? Yeah. Is it just all about picking long passes? That is where I have my doubts about him, and we'll see. We'll see next season when when he plays day in, day out. And he may well has been getting his classes, his training done on what the proper central midfielder should be and should look like. But like I said, I still have my doubts about him he's always very congested in the middle of the park. So it's not all the time we'll have the space. I think when you're playing against a small team, it's all well and good because they will drop off and he can look up and pick a pass. It's not crowded. But when it's against a big team like a City it's all choked in the middle, and so you don't even have the space to look up and pick a pass. So we would see, like I said, but from looking so far so good, is looking good. It may just have saved Jurgen Klopp another 70, 80 million worth of central midfielder if he becomes what we all think he will be in the middle.
All right, welcoming Irate onto our show at the moment. Irate, we are just talking about your man, Trent. I know this playing in the midfield. How do you see it? Do you think should Klopp move him into the midfield? Welcoming Irate with that round of applause. Irate, talk to me. What do you think?
Hey, the Don, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear, bro.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Good evening. Good to be on the show.
All right.
Yeah, about Trent. Trent played as a central midfielder for England against Malta, if I'm correct, and he had a very good game, made key passes. I think he was also man of the match in that game. But generally, the statistics from that game, showed that he played very well in the midfield. Southgate mentioned after the game in his press conference that he put it to Jurgen Klopp that it's up to the club to play him in that position as well if he's going to learn more in that position, because I feel there's still a couple of things he needs to improve on. But we've known Trent over the years. When it comes to attacking statistics, he's right up there with the likes of De Bruyne and the rest. So those passes, it's inbuilt in him. He knows how to make these passes, whether from right back or from midfield. So it's up to Klopp. Like I said, when the season ended, if we will be starting a new season and we want to make changes to the team, it has to start at right back. And if we go into the season next season and Trent is starting as a right back, for me, I would just think we are not ready. We are just playing for that next season. We need to sign a right back and push Trent into midfield. I know Klopp tried using him as a right back stroke midfielder sometime last season, but we were exposed, especially the centre halves had to be pulled all the way to the sideline. So I don't think it worked a little bit, but I don't think going forward that would be a permanent solution. Just play him in midfield. He started his career as a midfielder, and it was Klopp that changed him, converted him into a right back. So put him back where he has played, several years of his life. Let him learn more there in that position. I feel he's able to nail down a spot, even with England, because England right now, I can say in midfield, the only two sure spots right now are for Rice and Bellingham. So the right side, there is availability on that right side of the midfield three. And I think Southgate knows that Trent is not taking the right back role. He has about three better options there. So the only option for Trent now is to play in midfield, and Klopp has to help him to play in that position. I've heard we have been linked with Pavard. He wants to leave Bayern, and Liverpool have been linked with him. So maybe Liverpool are going to put in a bid we are yet to see, or maybe they'll be signing another right back. But whatever the case is, for me, Trent has to play in midfield. He can no longer play at right back. He's not defensively aware enough to play in that position.
All right, let's quickly start talking about the transfer at this moment. I think the transfer has been so quiet at this moment, but I'm going to start off with you, Prof. Chelsea, I think you guys are about to sign Jackson or something.
Yeah, Nicholas Jackson from Villarreal. Very, I think it's just that signing is keeping up with what Chelsea are basically doing. And a lot of people say they don't understand what Bully is doing, and I laugh. There's a model for what they are doing. It's just going out there and signing potentials, young, talented guys who can be managed by one of the best coaches known for nurturing talent into world class in Mauricio Pochettino. That's the model. That's what we're going for, and that's what Nicholas Jackson is all about. It came into life towards the end of last season. Winning the man of the player of the month for the last month of last season, scoring I think 10 goals in 8 games or thereabouts. Yes. So he has such figures, and so
of course that's Chelsea. Always going for man of the match, and we saw that in Modric. Okay,
he was player of the month. He was player of the month, so he's keeping up with it, and he's got good huge potential. He's still very young. Very, very young. And, like I said, he's going to be nurtured under Mauricio Pochettino. He has space. I've seen clips of it. I haven't watched him on a lot. I haven't watched a lot of him, but I went online on YouTube and I saw, videos of him. He's very good technically on the ball. He's got pace and power as well. A lot of Chelsea, young Chelsea supporters are already calling him the next Drogba and things like that. I will not do that because I think that's putting too much pressure on the young man. But I think he has a huge potential, and it's going to look it's exciting when you see that he can combine with the likes of Madrid, Modric, Sterling, and all that. I think it looks exciting on paper. So we'll see. We'll see if that's the striker
But
that Chelsea wants to
can
go with.
he actually fit into Chelsea's plan?
That's another question, Prof.
Yes,
I mean, the
it can. Like I said,
Johnson.
for me, yeah, for me now. So for me now, Chelsea have three young, uh, huge potentials in Amando Broha, Nicholas Jackson now, and the young boy David Datro Fofana. So, in my opinion, I'm thinking if Mauricio Pochettino can work with three of these strikers, he should be able to get one firing at least. So we have three young potentials who are very, very good, in their own right. And so it's just about improving them on the training pitch. And that's why we got that manager. So I think if that's the way Chelsea want to go, and I think they're sticking strictly to it, they're not more. They don't want to go and spend on 150 anymore. You guys have been screaming that Chelsea are spending money. Now they are putting their money down, signing a striker for 35 million. So they are trying to stop the wastage and focus on the model of the club. And I think I'm fully in support of it.
All right, let's quickly talk about this game: Sierra Leone versus Nigeria. I'm going to start up with you, Sheye. What you watch the game? Osimhen banged two goals, and at the end of it all, Iheanacho made it three. What's your thought about this game? I think Nigeria has qualified for the next Nation Cup. Am I right? Yes.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. I think Kunle talked about Osimhen earlier in his introduction, in his intro. And really, I feel with Osimhen, I keep saying this, like the best is yet to come. His talent is to quote Spalletti, his ex-Napoli boss, stratospheric. I think he's more or less Nigeria's go-to guy. Obviously, I think if he doesn't fire, we tend to struggle. If he's having one of those days where he can't shoot on target, or where he's snatching at chances, then we also tend to struggle because I don't think the other guys in the attack don't come to the fore quite often enough as they should. But I'll talk about Nigeria's defensive issues. I think we need to sort that out because under Pesero, I stand to be corrected, but we've only kept 2 clean sheets since he was appointed. One was against Sao Tome and Principe, and to be honest, no disrespect to them, but then they are not a good side. They are a lowly ranked African nation, and the second was against Guinea-Bissau. We need to sort out our clean sheets. We need to keep things tight at the back, and I actually checked the numbers. We tend to concede quite a number of big chances to opponents. We don't know how to kill games off. So that's what we have to work on going into AFCON, because if we are unable to keep things tight defensively, we'll probably struggle at AFCON. So pleased to have made the finals, but I don't think that was under threat because knowing how things are right now in qualifying, 2 of the top ranked sides always go through. So I don't think we're ever in danger of not playing our next year's AFCON. So it was about just seeing if there were evident styles and patterns of play, which, to be honest, is still at times it's a bit agricultural the way we play. I think at times we tend to play too many long balls towards him, and we want him to run at loose balls and balls the channel. So we need to work on that. But in general, at least obviously we are pleased with the win. And yet again, it was actually quite funny because we've had Sierra Leone actually give us several issues, because I remember the game in 2020, I believe, where we led 4-0 and they leveled 4-4. Last year in the reverse fixture, they actually scored first and we had to come from behind to win them. So we almost let another lead slip yesterday when they leveled 2-2.
Yes.
And they almost got the winning goal, because there was one, I think, a near on goal from I believe it was in Didi, but Adelaya was able to save it, and then a late header as well for I think they are one of their forward men, which was also saved. So it could have been a 3-2 defeat if they had found a way to score a third goal after they had leveled. So I think we had several chances in the first half to have scored. Big chances, half chances. Chukwueze had the chance that was saved. So the first half we could have maybe led 3 or 4-0, but we only We couldn't score enough goals. But to be fair, you really think at Sony we should have had the game closed out, but we more or less bottled the 2 goal lead. So let's hope we find a way to show up our defense going into AFCON next year.
Kunle, do you think a Super Eagles manager should be awarded a contract going forward into the next Nations Cup? Because people have been saying, I mean, on Twitter that it should not be given a contract. Kunle, do you think he should be awarded a contract?
For me, it's very, very difficult for me to say yes, because for me, I think I would say let's keep him, because at least he has worked with these players. No, he has worked with these players for up to a year, right? If I feel, maybe let's wait until after the Nations Cup, because if you make a change, because that was what happened, where they changed Gernot Rohr, where Gernot Rohr had taken Nigeria to the Cup of Nations.
Yes.
And in December, he was already just about, or maybe less than a month to the tournament, he was sacked.
Yeah,
and then they brought in
Eguavoen.
Yeah, exactly. And we know how things turned out. We first thought, because we won the first 3 games in the group stage, 100% record.
As soon as we enter
Tunisia, we jammed better team, like you understand. So I feel let Peseiro continue, because if you say he should go and you bring in another person, I feel that is the same thing that is going to happen, because whoever you are bringing in, he only has September. He has about maybe the September, October, and November windows. So he just has, those are just, and I feel that's a short amount of time. You understand? But what I feel is Peseiro needs to, I don't know what he's going to do, but like Sheye mentioned, the defense needs to be better. Even the midfield. Because you look at someone like Wilfred Ndidi doesn't seem to be the player that we want. The Wilfred Ndidi that people were like, Manchester United must sign him,
But now it's just
he was like one of the best defensive midfielders, and I think it's showing in the national team. So if we are not having the best from Ndidi, or we are not having the best from a Kenneth Omero, who was part of the team that won the last AFCON in 2013, there's going to be trouble in Ivory Coast next year. Pressure to wow.
Gidon, let me quickly chip in something. See, I am telling the guys something. You guys, see, until the system that is managing the sport in Nigeria is actually cleared of corruption, I don't think, no matter who they bring into the Super Eagles, no matter who is the coach, either Mourinho or I don't know, the best manager in the world, but if they don't bring in players based on merit, players who are actually hungry, players who plays with pride, who are ready to play with pride for the national team, I am telling you, nothing will actually work in this national team. It actually is not a cause. I'm just telling you. Because when you look at, there are so many players that are not supposed to be on that team, but they keep calling them. Is it for politics? I don't know why. Is it because of political reasons or what? There are players that are not supposed to be on that team. When you watch them in Europe, they are being benched by their clubs. They are not doing well. And it's the same set of players that they keep calling day and every time there is any match into the national team. No matter who they bring into the national team, no matter the manager, if the system is not right, nothing will be right.
Wow, nothing will be right. Kunle, over the weekend, this is your great man, F1. Let's quickly talk about F1, if you don't mind. It's this guy, Max. Max winning again to give Red Bull 100th victory of match on the same tally with Senna.
Ayrton Senna, yes.
Yeah. How do you feel?
Wait, number one, he's not my guy, so please.
Yeah, I know. Say,
I'm a
I know.
Ferrari fan, please. So
I know you're a
I'm not
Ferrari
happy. I'm
person.
not happy anytime this guy wins, please.
But
It
this
is
guy continue to win. It's just
yes, because Red Bull have the fastest car on the track. Nobody can catch them. Like once the guy starts going like this,
it's
nobody can catch.
finished. Ah,
Yes, he's clear. As in, there is actually this fear that this guy is going to win every race this year. It has never happened in Formula One where
I
one
tell you,
team has
once
won every race. It has never happened before. But with the way he's going, it can happen because nobody's speed is close to Red, except maybe his car has a malfunction. That's the only thing that can give another thing. But if his car doesn't have any malfunction this year, he's going to run with the title. And I think it goes to show how Red Bull have improved, because before it used to be Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes, but Mercedes is not even close at all, and it is affecting Hamilton. And but it's all about Verstappen now. You can't take it away from him. I don't know where the next race is, but you cannot predict that Verstappen is going to be the one to win the race again, and I won't be happy about it. But you can't stop. Nobody can stop him at the moment.
Yes. At the end of it all, this is how far we can absolutely go this evening. I'm not sure I need to know much about golf. I will put you on the spot.
Yeah, but a little bit about it though. I kind of read up. I kind of followed. Yeah, the guy Clark is this is the first time he's winning that golf major. The US Open is one of the golf majors, so this is the first time he is winning it ever. The person who was in contention to win is Rory McIlroy. I think he has about 4 or 5 golf majors, but the thing is, McIlroy has not won a golf major since 2014.
Yes.
And when it comes to these golf majors, he's always coming close. Always coming close.
Yeah.
But something will just happen and he will end up finishing second, as we saw. It was a very close fight. He should have won.
I said,
yeah, very, very big, because he's one of the biggest players on the golf course, after the likes of Tiger Woods. So it was going to be a very painful one, but it's a good one for Clark because he's an underdog, and when underdogs win, it's always a fantastic story.
Yes. All right, guys, this is how far we can go tonight. Irate, I want to thank you for showing up on this one. Irate, thanks so much, man.
Thank you, Don, for having me. Thank you.
All right, Kunle. It is what it is. This is how far we can go, Kunle. Thank you so much for joining us on this one.
Thanks a lot, boss. I appreciate it.
All right, Prof. One love, brother. Thanks for showing up on this one.
One love. Thank you.
All right, Margaret. Thanks for joining us on this one.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, this is how far we can go, Shaye. How you doing? Thank you so much for joining us on this one. All right, people, please smash the like on the video. Please subscribe to our channel. This is Intercontinental Sport TV. Please drop your comments in any way you think we can strive, we can do better. Please drop your comments. Reach us on our social media handles. Talk to us. We want you. Let's be the community together. Until the same time, until the next one. Thank you, guys. Thanks for watching.